What's up, everybody? It's Cheesy Beats, and today we're going to be looking at my progress, or of my, my music, specifically my metal vocals, um, from earlier, like way on when I started, up until now. So going from this shit, or whatever the fuck this was. Yeah, this shit. So basically, just fucking killing my vocal cords, just absolutely fucking obliterating my throat. Going from that to this, the new stuff, when I actually learned. This is current day. This is my screaming now compared to like 2 years ago. the the amount of progress I've made is insane. But that's what we're going to be looking at today. So let's head back to where it all started. Fall to Fly. So this is where I initially started to kind of introduce screaming, or where I tried to introduce some sort of metal aspect, and obviously it didn't go well, because I was still learning. Obviously, like all of this stuff, like I said, was just pop and stuff because I was still learning how to scream, because metal was the main genre that I wanted to make. But I couldn't because I was still trying to learn to scream. I was going at it the completely wrong way, though. I was trying to go off of like listening to other artists, other bands, which completely pop. Like, it's a good idea for a sound, but like, not, you don't want to be going off of that. Like, think of old Slipknot. Like, I'm talking about like their original album, um, or like Iowa. Kind of what I was going off of, and was not a great idea, considering even Corey was screaming wrong in Iowa, and he fucked up his voice as well in that. So that wasn't good either. Um, but I was also just going about it wrong, and I tried to learn false chord first, which was not a good idea, and it didn't go well. As you heard from this first song, I didn't want it to end, which not a good song. Um, same, same as this, same as Massive Bitterness. Fucking awful. That was a little bit right there. That is the problem. That's just like all like epiglottal, all just fucking this, where it's not anything healthy. It's just like making just noise in the throat basically, and it's fucking awful. But this was only a little bit of that, but I tapped into a little bit of that fry scream, but still not a great way to go about it. And overall, just fucking awful. Um, so Fall to Fly was the first album where I tried to introduce anything like that back in 2022. So I guess only like a year ago. Um, back, yeah, about a year ago, because this was early 22, I believe, when I released Fall to Fly. And that's when I started that. Um, like I said, Drowning is probably my favorite song off of that, just because it sounds the best and it sounds the most put together. But like, moving on, like Nothing Left is horrendous, because it's still using that
What's the
same
fucking point of this? If we know
all
that
of that
we
just
aren't missed,
throat and just
if we
fucking up
know
your
that
throat
we've been
completely.
dismissed. The things that laugh in my face.
See, it's that same thing of just the things that laugh in my face. Like, it's all just that, and it's really hard for me to do now, just because I know the correct way to scream, and it's very hard for me to do that because I know it's gonna fuck up my throat. So it's hard for me to do that. I went through a phase of like hip hop and rap and shit like that, but we get up here to one of the last albums of 2022, Lies, which is where I kind of, you know, over between that time of Fall to Fly and Lies, I kind of, figured this out and kind of was like, I'm going to switch to the fry scream. I'm going to go to a fry scream and learn that, because a fry scream's a lot easier. It's just more compression, and all metal is breathing control as well. Using your diaphragm, controlling your breathing, how much you're exhaling, all that. That's all it is. That's what that's not all it is, but that's what most of it is. And Lies is really where I started to learn this, and where I started to actually learn how to scream, and put all the pieces together and actually figure it out. So like I Fucking Hate You, I believe, was one of the main songs, but this still hurt my voice because of the way I was doing it. There was way too much compression, and still a lot of it way down, like still in the vocal cords, and still putting a lot of pressure on that. So even after this, it was hurting, and it's not a good sign. Never a good sign. It should never hurt like that. So like you can hear the kind of you can hear the sort of hesitation and the amount of compression I'm using in that. It's really forced, because it's oh yeah, to tell me my feelings, like it's very hard for me to do, because like I said, I know how to do it correctly. So if I would have done it, who are you to tell me my feelings? I don't give a fuck about your opinion. And I was trying to go way lower in my voice than I should have, because I've found my range for screaming, and this was not it. But this was meant to sound more of like a Slipknot song, which is where I was going for that deep. Corey Taylor's got that deep fucking vocal range, and that's kind of what I was going for. But it's not a good thing, because that really fucked it up. It really fucked up my throat a little bit in that. So I did have to take some time to bounce back. You can hear the struggle in there. But after that, we got to Going Under. So let's see, when was this? October. So Lies was released in September. So in a month, I had figured out what I was doing wrong, recovered my voice a bit, and figured out what I was doing wrong, and kind of restarted. I went over the basics again, went over everything, and was like, I have to get into the range that's right for me for this. So I did, and Going Under was, for me, my first like metalcore song that I'm proud of, that I'm happy of, to actually say that I recorded and I released. Like, this is my song. And even then, I still had more to learn at that point, but I did like this. And I learned a little bit at that time of how to do a guttural as well, and kind of learning how to use that lower range that I was more used to, that mid-range, instead of just the highs, just the wah, and then, getting in there, just wow, being able to move around in that whole vocal range, and being able to use all of that. And then after that, in 2023, so the last release of 2022 was in October. So it took me, I spent a lot more time on The Devil's Advocate. It took me until January of this year to release anything else. And this was The Devil's Advocate, which was my first like full-length metal album that I'd released, where I had mixed metalcore and deathcore, because obviously Going Under was on there. I Was Once Loved, where I got into the using like vocal layering and stuff like that, and actually getting more into the production aspect of it, and mastering aspect, and kind of fixing it all up, and being able to polish it up and making it sound good and like professional. And then we got to Plague, which was the first deathcore song I had recorded, and the first where I'd really used a guttural in anything. Yeah, so in a year or so, I went from having no idea what the fuck I was doing to being able to do this. And it's a very interesting thing because I wasn't... And this scream I have also perfected as well, because I used this scream, well, this type of perfected scream in my newest album, Hallucinations, in this song, in the actual title song, Hallucinations, which is deathcore. But I fixed a lot of everything I was doing wrong on this album. And really like putting it all together and figuring it out. So like, you know, break away, all this, and using like that range that I know that I have, so just being able to move and be fluent with and learning a lot more breath control and using that to my advantage, which was very helpful and, you know, helped out a lot in a lot of these songs and being able to do that. Moving up here, Hallucinations, which October, so, you know, literally October was last month. Well, technically it's now, you know, November 1st, but, you know, you'll see this probably on November 2nd. But going and doing this and being able to put this out, obviously taking a lot longer to release songs, not just throwing it all together and calling it a project, taking a lot longer to kind of relook at it, master it, do actual production work on it, and do retakes instead of, because with my earlier music I was doing a lot of just one takes and being like, oh, that sounds fine, I'm just going to throw it in there and being done with it. This I'm doing a lot of retakes on. Like if I don't like the sound, I'm like, yep, delete it, scrap it, we're going to redo it. Doing a lot of that, getting a lot more, you know, work with it. So like Hallucinations, the title song, once again I said like deathcore. So being able to do this, moving on and moving up a lot, and learning how to use it and learning, you know, the different aspects of my voice I can use to do this, and just everything I can do, and the potential I have with my voice to be able to do this, and really actually like working on it and focusing on it, and focusing on different aspects of my voice at certain times. So like this, I was really focusing on deathcore and like these certain types of screams. Really focusing and like honing in on these screams. But because that's the main one you hear in that. I mean, like Drink Away the Pain, you know, this more metalcore type feel to it. So a lot of that high range stuff. So moving a lot between mid-range, high range, a lot of different aspects of it. Same with like Shower Me With Fire, which was an interesting song for me that I really liked. Using a weird, like, different type of scream that I'd never done before, and it came out decent, which I do like. And I was very, I was surprised at the way it came out. So like this, I was surprised sounded good because it was just something experimental that I was doing, and it just ended up coming out like this. So using like two different parts of my voice at the same time, doing the fry scream, and then going up a little bit into the head voice, and it's like so many different aspects of things like that I know that I can put into this and be able to use and just put all into this. Something like interesting, you know, something different for me. And then like this. the more mid-range stuff, like I said. So there's a lot of different aspects. We got that high fry scream, that yeah, and then we got, you know, hallucinations, which is just that fucking that deathcore sound to it, that growl. And then this Crucify Me, that mid-range is what we have in there. It's a lot of different aspects, a lot of different things I was trying out. Like I said, Shower Me With Fire was more of an experimental song, but it worked out, and I was very surprised. And I feel like I'm going to use that technique again if I can, like, harness it a little. Well, I don't want to say harness. It's, like, not a fucking superpower, but if I can narrow it down a little more and get it a little more fine-tuned, then I feel like it'll sound a lot better than it did on Shower Me With Fire. But Shower Me With Fire did sound good as well. Fucked up was a lot of that high range as well. That so a lot of that real, like, up here, like really wide open, like, vocal range there, really wide open vocals, and like and not using a lot of breath either, so being able to hold these like longer. So if we go back to the Devil's Advocate, like if we go to Plague and we look at this, so this is really where I started focusing on, like, breathing and controlling everything, and being able to hold the screams out like this. So really working on that breath control and that diaphragm and all of that, and putting it all into that, and actually harnessing it. I keep saying harness it, being actually, like, controlling it, and learning. But I know I've still got more to go, and I know I still got, you know, there's still more stuff I can learn. But a big difference from a year ago up until now, the things that I've learned to do and the time that I've learned it in as well. I've heard from, you know, people who can scream. It's like, wow, that's, you know, that's something, which really, it's not good enough for me. I want to be at, like, that top level immediately, which I know is not going to happen, but I'm still putting my all into it and learning, you know, everything I can to get as far as possible along, in the shortest amount of time possible. But, you know, the big difference is just learning and technique, and not trying to rush it, and not trying to do something that you know is out of your range, or something that you know that you're not going to be able to achieve. But yeah, so that is my you know, metal vocal, my journey from, you know, Fall to Fly, so a year ago up until now. There's a big difference, and something that I really like. I do really like a lot of the newer music, and that's really what I push people towards. If they do listen to my music, I'm like, I don't like the older stuff, but this newer stuff, if you're looking for metal, this is definitely where you'd want to look, because this is a lot of the stuff that I'm actually proud of, and a lot of stuff that I've put time into, and just something that I actually really like. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, if you liked the content, sure hit that like button and subscribe. I do play a lot of horror games on this channel, so if you like that, be sure to subscribe. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.